Bonds and operational levies are actually quite different. A bond, think of it as a car loan. It's a car loan paid by all the district taxpayers of that school district. Everyone within a school district pays that same taxes on their property, and no one's excluded in this situation. But a bond is a temporary tax, and they generally can be 20, 25, or 30-year bonds. Like a auto loan, we borrow money. Instead of from a bank, we borrow it from the taxpayers, and then over that 20-year period, the taxpayers pay back that loan. An operational levy is usually much, much smaller, number one, but we can go ahead and bring that to the taxpayers. The taxpayers vote on that levy, and then that's a permanent tax that takes place on the community. Again, the entire community, whoever lives within the school district, and that helps run our school on a day-to-day basis. So operational levies are permanent, and bonds are a temporary tax. Right, we'll actually have two bond elections coming up. We have a high school bond and an elementary bond. Our district actually is two districts. We have an elementary district and a high school district. So whenever we bond, we actually have to bond separate districts. So we'll actually have two things to vote on, not just one. Anything that happens within the high school and the high school district will be impacted by the high school bond, and then any type of new construction at the elementary level or any type of renovations will be for the elementary bond. You'll see two things to vote on, and you can't forget that we need both of those. And again, they're very much intertwined as far as the educational impact on students. We just have to separate them for you at the time of the actual ballot. Now on that ballot, there'll be very specific wording as to what we're going to use the money for. And by law, that wording has to basically duplicate what we want to build. So we can't say we're going to do one thing and then turn around and spend the money somewhere else or on a different project. The money that we ask the public for must be spent on the specific items that we dictated in that bond language on the actual ballot. So we're very specific about what we're going to spend the money on. Bonds can actually be multiple years, but we're going to run a 20-year bond. We can run them for longer, but just like taking out a car loan or taking out a home loan, the longer you take out that loan for, the more you're going to pay on interest payments. Now, it may lower your payment monthly a few dollars, $1 or $2 or $3, but what you pay long term is going to be a lot more. So we'd like to limit that impact long term on the taxpayer. So we're looking at 20-year bonds as opposed to a 25 or a 30-year bond. We want to keep the tax impact as low as possible. Okay. Well, there is some good news coming up. We actually have some bonds that will be coming off of the tax rolls here in the next 2 to 4 years, and those bonds would be for the new middle school that we built a number of years ago, and also for some land that was purchased. So that impact of any new bonds would be helped by these bonds leaving. So the numbers I'm going to give you now are all approximations, and it actually is the net cost with the bonds that are coming off the rolls and the new bonds that we would like, and we're asking the public to start paying for. These numbers would all be basically the net result of those two taxes. So currently on a $100,000 home, and again, that's not the market value of your home, but the actual taxable value of your home, which you can find by going to the Yellowstone County website. You can actually get the actual taxable value at your home, but they also send it to you in those very complicated tax bills that we get twice a year. So if you want to take a moment to look at that, you'll get an idea of what your taxable valuation is on your home. But in short, if you have $100,000 taxable value of your home, it's around $12.50 a month will be the tax impact on your tax bill. So if you had a $200,000 home, you could double that up to about $25. And again, that for every $100,000 taxable valuation, it's around $12.50. Now then, those are estimates. It could be a little bit lower, it could be ever so slightly higher, but those are just estimates of what the tax impact will be for this. We're going to get an awful lot for our money and our taxable value on this. We're talking about renovations. We're talking about addressing capacity issues, heating and cooling issues, space in a new school, and addressing all the problems we have at Graf. We're going to address a ton of issues for the price that we're getting on this, and we're absolutely thrilled about it.